Your name is Chad. You are a co-host of a podcast called Between Two Synths with Spike and Augie. We are a music podcast between a songwriter and a producer, and we talk about music stuff, culture, funny things. Chad, you're a lighthearted, really easygoing guy. So you're a little stupid. You say some stupid stuff sometimes, but we would like you to please introduce the podcast. So, can you just introduce all of our listeners to the next episode of Between Two Cents?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Between Two Cents with your favorite trio, Spike, Augie, and me, Chad. We're here to dive into all things music, sprinkle in some culture, and of course, share a few laughs. Whether you're here for the beats, the banter, or just because you accidentally stumbled upon us, we're glad you're here. So grab your headphones, get comfy, and let's get this show on the road.
You're gonna put us out of a job, Chad.
No worries. There's plenty of room for all of us here. Let's keep the good times rolling and make this episode another great one.
All right, shut up, Chad.
Yeah, I already hate Chad. There's plenty of room for all of us.
Yeah, look, the network are forcing us to add Chad to the podcast, so
Yeah.
we're just getting used to it.
We're under pressure and obligation and legal contracts.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah. So welcome to Between Two Cents.
Yeah.
I feel cheated.
Yeah, it feels icky, man.
It does feel icky. I feel
Yeah.
dirty. Okay, rock and roll. So we got some really wonderful topics today.
100%.
I can't remember them, of course, which is why we have iPhones. So the first one that I guess we should open with is let's talk about Chad.
Yeah, let's talk about Chad.
I mean, we know how we're feeling about Chad, but OpenAI will now be able to understand audio, visual, and text.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It's incredible. I mean, it's such a leap from what we just previously had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's really exciting. I'm just having fun playing around and just learning more and more about it.
Yeah, so I mean, from the perspective of like, I mean, we've already been playing with Chat GPT and, text is, everyone's like, this is amazing. But when audio and visual come into it, I mean, what do you think the first, for music-wise, how's it going to impact us? Like, are we going to be like, hey, Chad, what do you think of this song?
Dude, that's 100% what's going to happen. The last two songs that I've written with you,
Chad said they were trash.
No, I was already starting to I would go, I'm a songwriter and you are a world-renowned songwriter and I want you to help me come up with different ideas and lock stuff in and I would just constantly bounce back and forth, and honestly ChatGPT is already my favorite songwriter in the room that's not getting paid.
Yeah.
And so now with this, like what I'm excited for is for this new update, I was curious to take it a step further and be like, could he analyze my demos and listen to it, learn about my style, to then give better suggestions going forward. And I think this will be, it will just be like almost there could be a person named Chad in the room or whoever you decide to name them, you weird people out there. And and then I just be in the room with you and write a song or do whatever.
Yeah, 100%. I would be like, Chad, I need you to channel Max Martin, Britney Spears vibes.
Yeah.
Oops, I did it again. Or we need I really
You are Britney Spears.
Yeah, you are Britney. Sing to us. I think we could really, it could really help with hooks, or I'd be interested if it's going to help with melodies, especially when you can analyze the top 10 pop tracks over the last 2-3 years, top 10 number one pop tracks.
Yeah.
And then give me a melody that's similar but different.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And if we get sued, it's Chad's fault.
Well, at the moment, we're allowed to create works with AI.
Yeah.
So it's within our confines. And honestly, I think you still need a creative that knows what sounds good and what creates that professional product. Like Chad will just spit out the basic melody. I don't know about, but I know songwriting and lyric wise, it would send out some stuff that's oh, that's a cool perspective, but also do a lot of basic stuff And I'd be like, okay, this is like every rap song ever. So then like, you got to like make it your own still.
It's going to help a lot of amateur writers level up. I mean, like amateur, I mean, even professional, like it's going to give you ideas and inspire you.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be something to pull inspiration from. Because, I mean, people now, when they're doing songwriting, they'll use reference tracks. So, they might say Khalid location or something, and they might go dun dun da 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 da. They might rip that and then sing it over their song, which is a different instrumental, then start changing melodies, or they might just keep the rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think like using the source chat GPT vibes or OpenAI, it could really kind of inspire us in a way that we are not kind of biting.
Yeah, and you can pump them out faster. Like that's what it increased the speed of writing my song, I'd say by like almost an hour. Because I would just go, oh, I like this line instead of that line. Can you please like post it back out?
Yeah, it does all the brainstorming for you.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to like rely too much eventually on that side.
100%, dude. I can't drive anywhere without Google Maps.
My dad's still like, yeah, look, if you go down the street, there's this big green tree on the right.
Stop.
Yeah. There's the petrol station on the left. I'm like, listen,
you don't have to do this.
Yeah, I stopped listening at the beginning. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just going to go like this.
You know what the thing is? Like, I'll tell my dad, like, Dad, I'm going to use Google Maps, but he's got to finish. He'll keep going. He's like, yeah, but
they have
also,
to finish.
There's that church on the corner, and if you keep going, and my dad would be like, so where is that?
It's like you just need to like give him a pat and be like, that is so cool that you know how to do that.
Bro, I remember actually using Waze. I don't know what it's called in the US, but Waze was my dad used to let me. He's like, it felt like a real kind of father-son moment. He's like, all right, son, you want to get out the map? I'm like, yes, Dad. He's like, you're going to help me navigate to Coles?
Yeah.
Yes, Dad. Yeah. And you'd open it and you'd go C6E3 or something like that. Yeah. And you'd have to find it and point. And then you would have to, I'd be in the car with the map following it.
Yeah, man.
I feel like a dinosaur now.
I was a pizza driver and I saw like they had at the store like a grid, and it was a super basic layout, like one main road, and then it was super like numbered, pretty simple. But I still needed my GPS. I remember one shift, my phone got like lost under my seat, and I couldn't find it, and I like literally couldn't find it for like 15, 20 minutes, and I was like, I'm dead. I can't like. Yeah. I literally can't get back to the store.
You start screaming out the window.
I don't know where I'm going. And then like I had this like existential crisis, like I rely so much on my phone. I am my phone.
Yeah.
And like Did
you eat the pizza at least?
I had
at least if I'm hungry, I'll survive 24 hours.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, I just think it's going to get more and more the case.
Before we get on to our next topic, why is it that as humans, we always try to abuse the latest technology? Like when Siri came out, I really gave it to Siri.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how much I could bend Siri. And it kind of reminds me of like, those videos with the robotic dogs? Yeah. And they're like trying to run and the humans are kicking them.
Yeah.
And smacking them because their objective is balance.
Yeah.
So they're just literally throwing them off buildings and hurting them severely. And I feel like we're going to do that. Chad, I'm sorry in advance.
You're talking about that like stupid type of like messing things up. Not like a really intelligent, like, oh, I'm going to use this to take over the world. You just mean like, let's see if we can light it on fire.
Well,
like
I mean,
stupidity.
If Chad can see me, I'm going to show him a nipple and see what happens.
What do you think of my nipple?
Yeah. What do you think of this nipple? Is it symmetrical to this other nipple?
Is this the average size, would you say? Would you say I'm above average?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to go there. I'm glad you did. I was going to say, and beyond things that we can't talk about on the show. But yeah, 100%. That is what Augie will probably do.
That's not what I will be doing.
You had to go there. That's what I'm saying. It's human nature. We are disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It sucks. Humans suck.
Yeah, you need to go repent, bro. Repent for your sin.
We all need help.
Next topic. So Gary V predicted that within 10 years. Now, let me just say, for me, everything Gary V has predicted over the last 10 years has pretty much come true.
Yeah, man. So, he's like Steph Curry with their predictions.
Yeah, so I listened to
long range.
Gary V at the moment. Predicts that within 10 years, famous influencers will predominantly be virtual. So famous virtual influencers, robot influencers who are famous, meaning marketing companies and audience reach or audience attention will be nothing more than a paid service. So here we're all competing for your attention with all the different pieces of content, and content is king. It has been for a long time. But what would be really interesting is if these marketing companies are operating these famous virtual influencers, and people will be paying them essentially to market their products. So I'm wondering on what type of tiers it'll be. You know, like will it be just massive, big companies paying these virtual influencers to get their stuff out there?
Yeah.
Or will there be like a lower form where people like ourselves, producers and artists, want to promote their music and stuff like that? And then we have like a virtual influencer kind of, you know, prompting our stuff online. How do you think it's going to work, bro?
I think everything that you just said is possible. In that clip that you sent me from Gary Vee, he also had this encouragement to replace yourself with this new technology, like before this becomes a thing. Like, just accept the fact that the next famous wave of people might not even be real people. They might be AI fake, like singing on Mars.
Yeah, the deep fakes and all that stuff.
Yeah, like different stuff. And so, you know, I don't know, like, would you ever create an artist from digital ground?
Well, let's put it this way. There's a problem in our industry right now. And there's a problem especially for independent artists. What is the problem? There is one of me, money. I don't have the resources to hire a videographer. There's only so much content you can do with all the other commitments you have, whether that be family, work, or even writing music. So I think that it could be really beneficial in replacing creative content ideas to be able to have a virtual version of yourself and you're like, make this type of content. Like with OpenAI, the way everything's going.
Like, imagine being like a label owner and like it just being like you and me or something. And we had a country singer named Sally. we had like a rapper, you know what I mean? Like we had like these different personalities that we feel like we could authentically breathe life into. And then like it connected with an audience in a way that we just never could because of our bodies.
I think if it's really realistic and it's able to emote, I think that's what human connection's all about. Like we're more connected, but we're actually more disconnected in the sense that we really crave community and crave spending time with one another because that's our human conditioning.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, if it gets to the point where people literally are feeling connections, there's that movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, where he like falls in love with his phone.
I mean, that's OpenAI essentially. You know, if it gets to a point where it feels emotive.
Yeah, like
the
you
technology,
could be my friend.
Yeah, or my lover.
I would say like that, like when it comes to business, the human element will always be important. Like no one's gonna connect with a fake AI country female singer, but if we like, you know, share stories and we like, you know, can like
if she has a backstory and people can connect with it. I mean, it's like The Voice and Australian Idol.
A personality, like Chad got mad personality. Like
I hate Chad.
Hey Chad. Oh wait, hang on, it's loading. This guy.
Yeah.
Hey Chad. What do you think about labels creating like AI artists one day where they just like are completely artificial intelligence?
That's a wild thought. Imagine having AI artists, right? It could shake up the whole music scene. On one hand, it's super cool thinking about endless creativity and perfecting sounds that might be tough for human artists. But on the other hand, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like part of what makes music so special.
All right, he's already saying what we were already saying. You know what I mean?
I love that you cut Chad off.
Yeah, shut up, Chad.
Be quiet.
Chad, that's enough. That's enough. Thanks.
All right, let's get on to our third topic, food for thought. What do you guys think about that anyway? I think the technology is exciting and interesting. I'm excited to see how it's going to integrate.
All right, so next on the list, Spotify is changing its subscription package, offering a bundle model. So bundling content, bundling users. And however way they're systemizing it going forward, it is projected to impact songwriter payouts by $150 million in the first year. And this is off them previously already kind of making noise and cutting off in small accounts, independent artists, where a few months ago they said that they weren't going to pay anybody unless they hit a certain level of streams. So it's pretty wild, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
What are my thoughts on it?
Where's
I
your phone?
mean, anything that's going to pay songwriters less, I just feel like, for the big songwriters, this shit really hurts. And for anyone like generating any kind of good form of income on Spotify, I would say that with your catalog, we're not there yet, so it doesn't affect us. But
Yeah.
also moving, it will affect us where we want to go. But moving forward, like our ideology around releasing music has always kind of been catalog focused. I think if you're a songwriter for different famous people, like that's where you're making a lot of bang for your buck, hoping
Yeah.
to get paid by these record labels. And some people now refusing that if you don't give me a fee, if the record label doesn't give you a fee, they're not going to let them release a song. And record labels, to those people who have basically given that ultimatum, have paid up. So there is funding there, and the record labels are making a lot of money. The record labels have always made the money. It's always holding it back from the artist. And I just think that, we're kind of catalog focused, that we want bulk of songs. Great. If we were making money from streams, say in the next 3 to 5 years, I mean, it's going to impact us. And majority of people are not making bank, man.
Yeah.
People are not making a living wage as creatives. And so I guess from that perspective, because we've been aware of that early on, we're always looking for other ways to monetize.
Yeah.
And I think we have a few different ideas of how that's going to eventuate.
Yeah. I think this just makes it even more important to focus on the attention economy, focus on branding, and just building an audience of people who, if you go, hey, I'm dipping off of Spotify, I'm going here, they'll go there. You know what I mean? Like at the end of
Yeah.
the day, that's what at our level, if I was somebody who like my Spotify paycheck was a huge egg in my basket, I'd be really pissed off right now.
Yeah.
But like I guess we just need to keep that in mind as we build. As like, what if YouTube goes away? What if Spotify goes away?
Yeah.
Like, where do we reach the people who are gonna rock with us?
Yeah. People want convenience and they want it to be easy. They want to be able to consume quick and fast. And, Spotify is a platform where they don't even need to pay for the music. They can listen to music with some ads, and
Yeah.
that's kind of like you pay, you make a payment and then the ads go away. But yeah, I think for us over the next, I really can't see it changing over the next 5 to 10 years with something like Spotify disappearing.
Mm.
It's got too much of a foundation. It's too strong.
All the listeners.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's taking that away. I just think that artists, we need to smarten up as independent artists, and we need to find other ways to monetize, sync licensing for movies and TV, Patreon, doing subscription models,
Yep.
being able to sell merch, once you have the fan base there, and trying to find some way to interact with your fans in an exclusive manner, which can be Patreon as well.
Yeah.
But I think we need to be more clever about how we monetize, not just, we should bitch and complain about Spotify not paying the people who are created their platform, which is songwriters and artists. But I think at the end of the day, like, we need to shift and navigate in such a way that we find a solution to these problems. I don't think that is the only solution. But there are people out there fighting for it, and I think we need to fight for it too. So I'm not advocating that we ignore it. I'm just saying in this environment currently, we need to find ways to make money. All right, Augie, tips for the week, bro. We're going to get a tip from Chad as well while we're here.
Oh yeah.
You go first, because Chad's gonna wreck us.
Yeah, Chad's gonna do better than all of us.
Yeah,
all right. My tip for the week is I guess just simplify the process. This constantly releasing stuff, whether it's content or music, can like just get really confusing. But like drop it down to like, okay, I want 6 videos for this song. And then just find a way to execute that. And like 6 videos doesn't sound as scary as never-ending content. That is my...
Nice, bro. I think for the producers out there, I had a student the other week and they were asking me about gear should I get this? Should I get that? I think that it's really important when you're learning and progressing to get really familiar with what you have first. And the first thing that you probably have is your laptop, your DAW, whether that's Ableton or Fruity Loops or Cubase or Studio One or Logic or whatever. And then I think getting super comfortable with that and learning how to navigate before you go buy equipment. Then if you're using Ableton, maybe get a Push 2, or if you're really into beat making, maybe get a Machiner, or whatever else, and you can see that I have a very unhealthy obsession with gear if you're looking at the studio right now. So for me, the kind of rule of thumb was like really get to know the piece of gear once I buy it, or I used to go play it in stores for hours prior to purchasing. And then if I don't use it for 6 to 12 months, I'll generally get rid of it and purchase something that I am going to use. So nothing is kind of wasted and just sitting there for no reason. But yeah, my advice is just like take your time, upskill yourself. And then when you're feeling a little bit uncreative and you got some spare funds, then go buy yourself something nice. And that kind of re-inspires you and gets the juices flowing again.
That's good, man.
That's my
Well, the
advice.
network is forcing us to give Chad a platform, so he's loading.
God damn it, Chad.
Tech issues, always keeping things interesting.
It's not keeping things interesting. You're wrecking the podcast, Chad.
Maybe I can help out while we wait. To all the music producers and songwriters tuning in, here's your tip of the week. Never underestimate the power of stepping back for a moment. Sometimes when you hit a creative block, the best thing you can do is take a break, clear your head, or switch up your environment. It can really refresh your perspective and help those ideas flow again. Keep pushing the boundaries, stay inspired, and remember, every note you create is adding to your unique story in music. Thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait to catch you on the next episode of Between Two Synths.
Peace out. See you next week.